What's up, guys? We are back with my rematch of POCL Week 1 versus my buddy Tox. This is an X and Y OU. A little backstory if you guys didn't see the update video. A set I used in the original video or the original battle was illegal. I did not know that because Pokemon Showdown allowed me to use this set. Now, so all the bugs have been fixed out. We contacted Zarel and people that are in charge of Showdown, so they fixed that. And basically, even though I won the battle, I lost week 1 because I used an illegal set. But the judges said, the moderators, the mods, whatever you want to call them, the people in charge, the TDs, tournament directors, why the hell am I giving all these names? Who cares? Basically, they said you lost unless the opposing team gives me a chance to rematch. And because Tox is such a good buddy of mine, he actually wants to fight, and HC is just a really nice guy, they allow me to rematch. So here we are with my rematch of POCL Week 1. My team is definitely legal this time, guys, don't worry. And yeah, let's get right into the match. So I'm leading off with my Landers T, as he's going to lead off with his Rotom Wash. I am Choice Scarf Jolly. I will outspeed any variant of Rotom Wash. So going to go right for the U-turn, as I can go right out into my Clefable. Did not want to go out to my Ferrothorn because I don't want it getting burnt, as I need it for the majority of his team. It's actually a great switch in for his Jirachi as well as his Gyarados. So he ends up Volt switching out into his Jirachi. Going to pull the switch directly into my Ferrothorn, as I don't want my Clefable taking any unnecessary damage from super effective Iron Head, as he ends up getting up a Stealth Rock. So we're going to exchange rocks right here as he goes out into his Rotom Wash. And like I said, I do not want Ferrothorn getting burnt. It's my number 1 switch in for his Jirachi as well as his Gyarados, so I definitely do not want to take any unnecessary damage. So goes for the Will-O-Wisp. I go out to my Magic Guard Clefable just to absorb that, as I'll take no damage. And even though he's just going to go for Volt Switch right here and do pitiful damage to me, I am going to go right for the Soft Foil. That way I am at full HP, because I'm running some Spadef on this Clefable. That way Thunderous's Thunderbolt, Life Orb won't to a KO. Psyshock from either Latios or Latias, which both hit the physical side, won't be able to 2 KO, but in order for that to happen, I need to be at full HP. So I go for the Soft Bolt, as he ends up going out to his Jirachi. He's going to Pass a Wish into his Thunderous, as I go out to my Ferrothorn and go right for the Leech Seed. Now, the way he brought this in, he's either going to go right for a Life or Focus Blast, or he's going to be a Nasty Plot variant. Either way, Clefable, I think, is my best play, as I can just softball up all the damage he does, especially because he's a Nasty Plot Leftovers variant. And because, let me just explain a bit, because he's Nasty Plot Leftovers, it's more than likely that he's running Nasty Plot, Thunderbolt, Hidden Power, and T-Wave, because you need a revenge kill with a faster mod, let's say like my Mega Aerodactyl. That way I can knock him out, and Thunder Wave cripples me. And Mega Aerodactyl is a big threat to his team too, as if I can weaken his team, I can do work. But he ends up going for the Hidden Power, predicting my Landers, since he knows that his Choice Scarf, just the fact that I outsped his Rotom Wash turn 1, because Rotom Wash tend to speed creep a bit. And yeah, the fact that he goes for Hidden Power right here, and based on the damage, even though it was a crit and it did 70, I know that it's HP Flying and not HP Ice, because HP Ice would have done way less. And it's funny because Thunderbolt would have done about the same as Hidden Power crit. But I went for Soft Bolt because I know that after Leftovers and Leech Seed, I can take any attack from him. And I'm actually going to go for Calm Mind right here, because like I said, with Leftovers and Leech Seed, I will be able to absorb his following attack, as he'll only be at +1 because of my Calm Mind boost, and I'll be able to beat him 1v1 just because of his the fact that he has Leech Seed on him, and I'll be wearing him down. So I go for Calm Mind. He does see this coming, so he ends up putting the switch into his Jirachi. He's going to go right for Iron Head. I do not want to stay in, as +1 Flamethrower only do about 30-something% to his Jirachi, and Ferrothorn, like I said, is a relatively safe switch in. So I'm going to go for Leech Seed, as he actually ends up bringing out his Gyarados. Now, he said this was a misclick. That's a bit unfortunate at this point. I actually misclicked later on in the battle, as you guys will see, and it might it might be bad for me, but I go for Leech Seed. Now, even though he did say misclick, you guys know that I love to lie, so I don't want to get bopped by a Fire Blast Gyarados, even though this is more than likely that this is his Mega Gyarados. I do not want to get bopped by that, so I'm actually going to pull a safe switch into my Keldeo, as I think he was telling the truth, because he ends up doubling out into his Latias. So he pulls a double into his Latias as I go out to my Keldeo. I do not want to stay in. At the same time, I don't want to go back out into my Ferrothorn, just because Tox loves to run HP Fire on his Latias. So he ends up pulling the switch back out. He ends up going for Defog, sorry, and now he goes for the HP Fire, as I go for Flamethrower. He predicted me to double into my Ferrothorn, predicting his Jirachi, and I predicted him to go out to Jirachi right there, so I went for Flamethrower, basically fishing for a burn, as he ends up going for HP Fire. Because he has Defog and HP Fire, I'm thinking that this might be a Healing Wish Latias, especially because he has double Lottie. So I'm pretty positive. Yeah, I'm going to take that into account as I play later on. So I go for another flamethrower, expecting him to want to switch out into Jirachi, as now I get the free switch into my Landorus T as he ends up going for his rocks. And what I'm going to do right here is actually just go right for the knockoff, as it's basically my best play. It's super effective on Rachi. I weaken his recovery. Because he has Stealth Rocks and Iron Head and Wish, I do not think that he has Protect, so I think it was my best play, as he ends up Volt switching out with his Rotom Wash. He brought that in, took negligible damage from the knockoff, and he's able to Volt switch out into his Latios. So I was kind of contemplating this play. The way he brought out Latios just immediately on my Clefable, I was thinking, okay, he's either like really banking on Psyshock to 2-hit KO me before I can 2-hit KO him back with Moonblast plus my recovery, or he's some sort of trick variant, which is not so uncommon. I actually use a trick variant Latios on my own just to cripple opposing Clefable, and I did not want my Clefable to get tricked, so I decided that Latios would be a pretty expendable member at this point. If he does trick, you know, I'm grateful for that. Latios gets a Specs or Choice Scarf, so he ends up going for Calm Mind, and I'm actually scared. I decided to risk a speed tie right here just to go for Draco and get off some damage before he eventually knocks me out. I'm not sure if he's running HP Fire on that variant as well. So basically, I thought, you know, it will work out for me if I win a speed tie. I'll get off a hell of a lot of damage, putting him in range of basically Scald from Keldeo. So he ends up putting the switch out into his Jirachi, takes nothing from that Draco meter as he is able to pass a Wish into his Thundurus. I'm just gonna get up my Stealth Rocks right here, and I decide that I can switch directly into my Landorus T, as like I said, it's HP Flying. I won't be taking too much. It does about 30-something% to Scarf Landorus T, and if he does go for Nasty Plow, which is more than likely going to want to do versus Ferrothorn, I get the free switch in and I can threaten him with Stone Edge, but I'm not real enough to go for U-Turn or Knockoff at that point because he is at +2, so I go right for Stone Edge as he pulls the switch out into his Jirachi just to take that. Stone Edge also would have 2-hit KO'd his Rotom, which is why I went for it, as he actually ends up pulling a double into his Latias, predicting my Keldeo and or Ferrothorn. So that was a good play on his part. I'm actually going to go out to my Ferrothorn right now, just in case he does want to end up going for the Psyshock. And I don't want him necessarily going for the HP Fire. I made this play in the first match, if you guys saw. I stayed in with my Ferrothorn when he had revealed HP Fire, and I went for Gyro Ball and brought him really low. Gyro Ball would knock him out there, so he's either going to go for HP Fire right here or Psyshock, predicting my Clefable. There's no way he's going to want to go for the Draco. If he did, that would be a great play. But I was just expecting him not to go for Draco. I was expecting him to go for a safe HP Fire. So, take this as an opportunity to go out to my Latios. I am not running HP Fire on this variant, so I definitely will be able to outspeed him just because you have to sacrifice that 1 IV in speed to get HP Fire. So, going to go right for the Draco as he brings out his Jirachi. Now, I'm going to pull the immediate switch into my Choice Specs Keldeo, as at that range of HP he can easily knock out Jirachi with Scald. And he does reveal his final move, which is Body Slam. Good play on his part, predicting my switch, as he does go right for the Body Slam. And even though he could go for Iron Heads, it's not really going to work out for him, as if I do break through, I will be able to knock him out with Scald. So he's going to pull the switch out into his Latios, as I end up going right for Latios rather, as I end up going right for the Scald, and he reveals Roost. So he's Calm Mind Roost, which means that he's more than likely not running the HP Fire, simply because he does have Latias for it. He has HP Flying on Thundurus, and I'm pretty positive that Calm Mind Roost would not run HP Fire, just because you're, like I said, you're missing that speed IV. So I'm gonna go right for the Leech Seed right here, as +1 Draco does a hell of a lot. And I'm actually gonna go for the double Leech Seed, predicting him to want to switch out, fearing the Gyro Ball at that point. So I end up catching the Rotom Wash on the switching. Now, if I switch out and he goes for Volt Switch, that's kind of bad for me, as it'll give him switch advantage. So what I'm actually going to do is just go for Protect right here to coax him into wanting to go for the Pain Split. So I'm going to pull the switch out into my Latios at this point. I can, basically if he goes for Pain Split, I'm in a great position because I can just go right for the safe Psyshock, as he's actually going to choose to sack his Rotom. That way he can get the free switch into his Jirachi. But because Jirachi does not have Wish Protect, we've seen all 4 of its moves, Stealth Rock, Body Slam, Iron Head, and Wish, I can go right for Draco. Best thing he can do is knock me out with Iron Head or Body Slam, and if he does go for Wish, I'm just in a great situation, as I can go for Draco Meter again and knock him out. So he decides to try and pass it into his Gyarados. After Stealth Rock damage, Gyarados goes down to -2 Draco. It actually does 41%, and he gets the miss though. really unfortunate for me, as Gyarados becomes a threat now that's back at near full HP, and I can't stay in, can't let him set up for free, and my Keldeo is paralyzed, so I'm actually going to pull the immediate switch into my Landorus T just to get off that one Intimidate. That way he's only at +1 speed this turn. I'm actually just going to go right for the U-turn. I guess I could have went for Stone Edge, but it really wouldn't have worked out for me if he did Mega Evolve, so U-turning out into Ferrothorn was my best play. And this is where I actually misclick with my Ferrothorn. I went for Gyro Ball. If he was a sub variant, which he more than likely isn't, because he would have went for sub versus my Landorus, it wouldn't have broken sub even at +2 speed. So my best play was going for Leech Seed, as he ends up going right for the Earthquake. Unfortunately, I do miss click, like I said, and I end up going right for Gyro Ball. But he decides to go for Dragonance, I think predicting my Protect. I'm not sure if he knows I have Protect or not, even my switch out. But either way, I go right for the Leech Seed, as now what I can do is go right for Gyro Ball. I guess I could have went for Protect right there, but I decided to go for Gyro Ball. That way, I get off that 23%, Leech Seed would get off that 12%, and what I could do is just go for Protect in the following turn and knock out this threat. Stealth Rocks, of course, being able to knock him out. But his only way of winning right now is predicting my Protect, going out into his Latias on my Protect, and going for Healing Wish to bring this Gyarados back up to full HP and essentially sweep my team, especially because my Keldeo has taken damage, and of course he would need a flinch or on my Clefable, but that's his only way of winning. So I'm thinking he's either going to go for Earthquake here. Basically he loses Gyarados if he goes for Waterfall, and that's one of his only win conditions. If he goes for Earthquake right here, switching out to Landorus is, you know, one of my best plays, and I could just go for Protect. But predicting him to actually want to make that play, switching out into Latias, trying to get off the Healing Wish into Gyarados, that way it gets back up to you know, about 87% after Stealth Rocks and sweeps my team, especially because Ferrothorn is low. I'm actually going to pull a double into my Landorus T. Was risky, but like I said, I saw his win condition, so I decided to act upon it. So I pulled that double, or that switch rather, into the Landorus T, and this is essentially going to be a good game. I spam knockoff. I'm Choice Scarf. Thundurus is HP flying variant. Even if he does get a crit, I don't believe he can knock out my Landorus at this range of HP, as you know, it is confirmed right here that he does have HP flying, and I can go for 2 knockoffs on that, knock that thing out. Latias and Latios will both die to knockoff at that range of HP, and yeah, that was a good game. So we are now 6-5 versus them, and you know, this was a good game. I'm really grateful that they allowed me to rematch as opposed to just taking the win. I really appreciate that. And, you know, Gyarados is just going to go down to Stealth Rock. So, yeah, good game, Tox. Guys, leave a like if you enjoyed. And that's basically it. So, until next time, later.